Hello, I'm BrigantiaBlackbird of Blackbird's Brew. Happy Friday. Welcome to Storyteller's Corner. This month we're going to be talking about Doctor Who, which was my childhood favorite series. And today we'll be talking about how this is a portrait of a trickster. So, Doctor Who. That is both the show title and the chief question that arises again and again. Who is the Doctor? We've never actually heard his name. And if he's forced to adopt an alias for some practical purposes within a storyline, he'll usually go with his tried and true John Smith. Now, according to an episode that was during David Tennant's tenure as the Doctor, he encounters a woman called River Song. She knew him, but he didn't know her. So, to prove her credibility that they had met only in his future, her past, she whispers his name in his ear. This disquiets him, because in the following episode he acknowledges that she knew his name, and that was a big deal because there was only one time when he could tell someone that. The only one time that he could, implying just how important and momentous her knowledge really was. However, this knowledge has not been shared with the audience. The series began in 1963, it ran through 1989, then there was a TV movie in 1996, and then the series began again in 2005 and still runs through to the present day. And in all that time, the Doctor's name, certain aspects of his past, it all remains very mysterious. And depending on how you look at it, either we know everything or we know nothing about the Doctor. And somehow, it's both at the same time. He is a paradox. He is a trickster. He somehow remains remote no matter how much in our face this character is. And speaking of faces, because the Doctor is from a race of people known as the Time Lords, and they possess regenerative abilities, the Doctor will change his appearance from time to time. Illness, injury, or his body's just plain worn out. And he'll regenerate and he'll shift. And of course, this is very convenient for showrunners and actors because that means no one is tied to the series forever and it's a way for it to reinvent itself. But this has also become a core trait of the Doctor's character within himself. Just as you get used to him being one particular way, there'll be a shift. He'll be transformed. He's still himself at heart, but he is different. And to date, 14 different actors have played the Doctor. Now, I called him a trickster, and this is a loaded term, to be sure. Dictionary.com defines trickster as a person who cheats or deceives people. But in a mythological context, what a trickster is a little bit more complicated. Now, Wikipedia's entry says this. In mythology and the study of folklore and religion, a trickster is a character in a story, god, goddess, spirit, human, or anthropomorphization, who exhibits a great degree of intellect or secret knowledge and uses it to play tricks or otherwise disobey normal rules and defy conventional behavior. Then we have mythology.net that defines it this way. A trickster is a character who uses wits rather than strength or authority to accomplish his goals. Like heroes, tricksters usually come out of their adventures unscathed, having won the prize they desired and upset the regular social order in a way that will cause lasting effects for the people around them. And now finally, we see knowyourarchetypes.com, and they have an even more nuanced perspective. They wrote, "The trickster personality is one that is often misunderstood. Many people see the trickster as someone who is always out to deceive or mislead others. However, this is not necessarily the case. The trickster is simply someone who likes to play around and have a good time. They may be mischievous or playful, but they're not trying to hurt anyone. Tricksters are often very creative and resourceful individuals. They are quick thinkers and are often able to come up with solutions to problems that others may not think of. They may also enjoy taking risks and breaking rules, not because they want to get into trouble, but because they like being spontaneous." Similar to archetypes like the prostitute and servant, the trickster seems to have solely negative implications at first glance. However, it can be a great help in presenting you with alternatives to the straight and narrow path, to people and institutions who seek to encircle you through peer pressure and conformism. Jack Nicholson and Groucho Marx are two of the greatest examples of this dual character in contemporary movies. However, despite the fact that the characters they portray are frequently unsavory or duplicitous on some level, their antics can be liberating because they transcend convention, stuffiness, and expected behavior. So the Doctor, in my opinion, is the ultimate trickster character. He left his people because they were stagnating. They had lost perspective and their moral high ground to go along with it. The Doctor, by contrast, was an adventurer, an explorer, a scientist. He just wanted to see the universe, live life, grow, and evolve. He is both the rebel and the hero, and he stands at the center point between order and chaos. He is the heart and the mind synced. The Doctor is a mystery. Now, in the classic series, which again was 1963 to 1989, the Doctor was in exile from his people. He was too rebellious for the stuffy Time Lords to deal with. But every so often, his people would voluntold him to deal with an issue that was making some mess in the universe. And oftentimes this would occur not because they let him know or asked him, but because they surreptitiously took control of his TARDIS's navigation system, and the TARDIS is the Doctor's ship and time machine. And then they would redirect him to where they wanted him to go, knowing that once he was there, he'd be in the thick of things and it would get sorted out. And the Doctor really resented this interference. And it wasn't only because he wasn't asked, but because it was always him having to do the dirty work that his people considered to be beneath their dignity. But, apparently it wasn't beneath his. Now, in both the classic and the modern series, the Doctor is known for his creative solutions and occupying a space that is both outside of the usual hierarchy of whatever world he happens to be in, but he also is operating above that hierarchy. And seldom is he without his trusty sonic screwdriver, which is a multifunctional tool that has been vital in many an escape and sticky situation. Now, both his trade behavior and his trademark tool, this makes the Doctor essentially the sci-fi equivalent of a wizard with a wand, and you never know what's going to be accomplished with either. And on top of this, the Doctor has his inner challenges. His efforts to help, and he's always trying to help, they don't they don't go as planned. Things happen. And of course, people who are on the wrong side of his actions, they're not the ones who are seeing him in a heroic light. He relentlessly holds himself accountable. And one of the great lines, and this came from the Matt Smith era of the Doctor, was "Good men don't need rules. Today is not the day to find out why I have so many." He has this dynamic energy, knowledge, and experience, and this creates as many problems as it solves, and the Doctor knows it. He knows that as much as he's looked up to by some people, he is feared and reviled by others. But true trickster that he is, he just lives with this reality, and he doesn't stop living life. He's always in the thick of things. He's constantly making decisions, dealing with the mixed bag of results that he gets, knowing that this end result also reflects the nature of the universe itself. So I think this is a very good modern day illustration of what a trickster really is. And I think looking at the Doctor as a character might help us understand better some of the tricksters we find in our mythology. So I think that does it for this one. Now let me know what you think in the comments section below, or come see me on Discord at Blackbird's Brew. There's a link to join in the description box below, and I'd be very happy to see you there. But for now, that will be all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!